It's been just over 8 weeks since Nero had his hock medicated with the steroids, and in that time he's been out in the field with the other boys just trying to build a little bit of muscle. And I've brought him in today to take a look at him and see a bit closer up how he's moving and how he's coping. I know from watching him out in the field that he's definitely not 100% sound, but I want to see him in the arena on a smooth flat surface rather than out in a muddy field to get a better idea. Are you going to say hello to everyone? You're going to say hello? Oh, you're a very good boy. He's still got his beard going on, which we must shave off at some point. He can keep it for the rest of the winter, I think. But it's nice not having so much mud now that we've had a few dry days. It's a little bit quicker to get them cleaned up. I always like to give them a little bit of a tidy up before they do anything because they enjoy it. It's their therapy time, their switch off time. Even if it's only a quick one, it's better than nothing. You see there, even just a little noise and a little flick of the rope, he knows to step back. So I'm just going to do a little bit of the basics with him first. Nothing exciting because he's obviously not been in for a few weeks to do anything, so I'll capture what I can on the video. There he's anticipating me asking him to go back, but at the moment I don't want him to go back. I just want him to stand here, drop his head, there we go. You know, so he's again anticipating. This is where he's very smart, because he knows that after he's done the dropping of his head and neck, I generally ask him to step back. Come on. Come on. Good. So he's got to get to the point where he's happy to just stand still, even if I'm at his shoulder. Because, as I say, he's just anticipating what I'm going to ask him to do. And it's just explaining to him. Good. Come on. Good. Good. Might be useful. So he's licking and chewing there, which is good. Sorry? It's always useful. So rather than allowing me to stand at his side, he just wants to go back.
Which I guess in some ways is potentially a positive sign, because they've shown it's learned. It's shown they've learned it. But then the next step is then showing them that's not necessarily what you're going to be asking all day, every day.
There, although I'm not asking him. but that's, you know, he's got to get used to me being the pressure point here and him not moving away. So it's great that he's got that submission now, which obviously he didn't have when he first came. Good boy.
So it's important now that Nero learns that wherever Tracy is, it's not always, she's not just the pressure point that he moves away from. There's a specific kind of ask for that within her body language and her voice. But it's good as well that he does now move away, because it shows that A, he's learning, and B, that he has the submission now, which, as you all know, he didn't in the beginning. So here she's just moving around him and ensuring that he stays still, because that's the next step, is that they have to learn, if you've asked them to stay still and stay in a certain place, their place of rest effectively, Tracy could go and run laps of the arena, literally run at him, jump by his side, and he should still stay still. I mean, he's not at that stage yet, but he should get there. So here he tried to reverse a little bit, because he thought that that's what Tracy wanted him to do. And again, you know, in many ways it's good, because they're trying to look for an answer, but there's not always an answer to give. So it's just being extra clear in your body language and in what you're asking them, so that they learn to differentiate between when it's time to go back, when it's time to stand still. Because otherwise, if you don't differentiate clearly enough, you end up with a horse that's confused and doesn't know what you're asking of them at any given time. So this is the deliberate ask for kind of going back, which is taking your energy forward towards them and maybe shaking the rope a little bit and making a sound for a bit of energy.
But allowing them the time to think about where they're putting their legs.
So there, Nero shouldn't have moved because Tracy hadn't asked him to. But it takes a little while to establish this, and it's just a case of, you know, being slow and calm in your body language and just repeating it to them until they understand. And you can see there Tracy's kind of raised a finger up in his eye line, and that's her saying to him, no, even though I'm moving, you stay there.
We've got licking and chewing.
So that's a release. And there he goes forward. And you see here how Tracy's deliberately taking well thought out slow steps. He ideally needs to mirror those and think about where he's putting his feet rather than encroaching on the space between them. Because ideally we need him to be matching Tracy. So if she goes quicker, he goes quicker, and vice versa. Stepping back there.
Just going to do a couple of little circles with him just to see.
Yeah. So there we go. So by lifting Tracy's hand up to his withers, that's the signal for kind of flex through your neck, drop down through your neck, and flex through your hindquarters. So she's only doing a couple of circles with him, because obviously due to his hock, circles at this stage aren't necessarily something we'd want to do too much of, but it's always good to do once in a while just to get that bend through the body. And it also allows Tracy to assess, you know, how is he moving within himself. And how would you say he is moving?
Well, he wants to rush this, which is what I noticed last time he was doing it. So it's just him learning to control his steps and not rush through with his forehand.
So what Tracy's doing here?
That right hind is the one that he's got the arthritis in.
So what Tracy's doing here is she's ensuring that he doesn't rush the steps, because a lot of them, when something's hard or they're not quite sure, they just try and rush through it, is that they do it nice, slow and in controlled with correct form. But she's also just stated that she needs to be mindful of the fact that this is his hock, this this is bad hock, effectively. So it's also just being wary of that as well. You always have to take that into consideration.
So
And he's
he's getting a little bit anxious and wanting to rush. And it's just, this is where he would quite quickly just pull away from me if he was allowed to go a lot quicker. So there he's taking a pull because he's having to really think about where he's stepping his hind legs. Boy. And it's just calm and doing it slowly.
Yeah, because you have to move slowly as the person coordinating their movements in order to allow them the time to think about it and perform the movement. Because if you are dead quickly and move dead quickly and jerkily yourself, then the horse is just going to do the same thing because you're not giving them enough time to think about where to put their feet.
And of course, because he will have done traditional lunging where he's sent forward on a circle, you know, and to go sort of fast and forward, it's a little bit alien to him.
Yeah, because, so to those of you that don't know, traditional lunging is basically whereby you have a long line and either a head collar or a bridle, and how a lot of people do it is they just let the horse run around them in circles like a headless chicken with their head up in the air, no engagement, and all they're looking for is for them to go fast and forward. Whereas this is the polar opposite to that. It's getting them to think nice, slow and controlled, engaging the right muscles and relax through the body. And if he's been used to the lunging in the past, then he's going to be, as soon as he goes onto a circle, he's potentially going to be anticipating, right, I'm going to be sent forward now, I'm going to be going fast. So it'll take him a little while to acclimatise that actually when Tracy sends him on a circle, he's not going to be going fast, he's going to be going nice, slow and controlled.
So it's just explaining what we expect, isn't it? So yeah, none of it's going to be pretty right now. But once, you know, he's learnt the going back and the moving away from pressure now. And this is something that once we get to the spring and there's a bit more time to do a little bit more with all of them, you know, he can do just this little bit of groundwork. It's like his trip to the gym to do a bit of, you know, bodybuilding and muscle strengthening. Because you don't see people in a gym going on weight machines and doing it really quickly.
No. Or even more like Pilates, it's more body weight exercises to strengthen the body as opposed to, because I guess weight training would be effectively if we brought him in here and maybe stuck him in some side reins, which there'd be no problem with, but for a horse like him that's perhaps not the best choice because of his hock. We don't want to fix him in a certain place.
So there he's trying to pull away, which was always his go-to, but he didn't see it through like he was when he first came because he understands a little bit better now. Good boy. So he's licking and chewing, and I'm happy just with that. Letting him go on a slightly bigger circle, but he's actually, I don't know whether you won't be able to see on the video, but you know, he's puffing a little bit just with that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to bring you to his nose so you can see. So you can see kind of there a bit of puffing, and you can see in the tummy as well. And when they are blowing a little bit like this, it's a sign that they've had to work the muscles, and also it's also the tension being released through their body.
Good boy. Oh. But because it's very much not a half-hearted training exercise today, but I just wanted to bring him in here because
But it's not half-hearted though, you're just doing a little bit, and I think that's a big misconception people have with their horses, is that, right, when we bring you into this arena we need to do this massive, you know, HIT session.
Yeah, it's just repeating a little bit just to remind him of what I'm asking, and we can get a little bit more serious, you know, as time goes on.
Not serious.
No, it's
though.
not
And also,
serious.
Because to me, I think as well, this is just keeping him ticking over and re-establishing what he's already learned. And this is good that you can get away with only doing 15 minutes now, because in the beginning there's no way you could have done it in this little time, because you would have had to spend longer with him, because he would have pushed the boundaries a bit more, and you would have had to...
That's true, and the main...
So actually, this is a sign of progression. It's not a half-hearted session.
Okay, I
Yeah.
stand corrected, Hole.
No, but it's
No,
true.
no,
it's quality,
it is true.
And it's effectiveness
I
rather
think-
than just bringing them in here and doing loads and loads and loads.
Yeah, I think it's because I had in my mind today, the main thing I wanted to do was see how he's moving, because when I brought him up the road this morning, he definitely looked like he was struggling a bit more with that hock. So when it's cold and damp with any horse, animal, anybody with arthritis, they do find it harder. And we found that obviously with Hidda and Hoitzer, who we know are arthritic. It's 8 weeks now since he's had his injection, and I have to remember he's never going to be 100% sound.
And it's like we have other ones like him. We've got Yolanda, we've got Xiaokia, even Hannes and Nika to an extent. They just move in a bit of a unique way.
Yeah, but I think we need to establish whether the steroid injection has worn off, or whether we need to start looking at other treatments or other things that can be done to help him. But I think the main thing is he's not losing condition. Yes, he's not put on as much weight as we.
Just a question. Would you say obviously his hock is a little bit not so, obviously it's not as severe as it was in the beginning, but it's not quite as good as it has been. Would you say that he's in pain or uncomfortable as a result of that, or he's just moving in a bit of a different way again? Because I think that's the important thing.
It is the important thing, and of course when you're seeing them every day, it's easy to forget how bad they were. And
because I think the beauty is, even though his hock's not so good again, he still looks bright and perky in himself. Even though he's resting it a bit.
Yeah,
but
it's just not over-analysing it, but just being aware that he's maybe a little bit more uncomfortable. But is that just because it's colder and damper?
And we're all uncomfortable in the cold and the damp. I mean, look at us.
Yeah, you're not even old.
I can't feel my hands.
Oh, that's because you've got no gloves and no jacket on.
Oh yeah, with my poor knuckle.
But I think what I'd like to do, if you're happy to, Hole, is just walk and trot him up and down. I'll tell you what, you video it and I'll do it. Because then if he tries to tank off with me, because you're cold.
Yeah, I'm not happy to do this. This is a violation of my workers' rights, Tracy. So now Tracy's doing a walk up and a trot up so that she can have a look at how he's moving. It also gives us a chance to assess how Tracy's moving. So, if any of you would like to assess Tracy's gait, the quality of her walk. So there she's just stopping him and turning him here. So sometimes when they turn for home, they get a bit fresh and they think, oh, I'm going out now, yay. But they have to learn that they need to just stay relaxed and calm, and they'll go out when they go out. So even though he had a moment there, he's come back down to earth significantly faster than he would have done at the beginning, which again shows that he is progressing in the training, which is excellent. And he hasn't even done much groundwork, so this is great. But this isn't the purpose of this. Oh, so he's having a bit of a tantrum there, but he's a baby. And also there's scary things at the top of the arena. There's monsters. Loads of monsters. I mean, Tamara's in the static. So's Freya. They're scary monsters. So down he comes. A bit of a trot again. Now he's rushing a little bit, but it's really good because he's still listening to Tracy, which in the beginning he wouldn't have done.
No. What did you think about the way he's moving?
To be honest with you, I wasn't really looking at that because I was
through the camera.
Yeah, that, and I was telling everyone how even though this isn't purposely to assess the training, it shows again how he's come on, because yes, he had a couple of moments, but he came back down to earth. Whereas in the beginning, he would have just lost his head and gone woohoo!
Yeah.
And got insane. Well, not insane, but
yeah, and that's all part of building up that relationship and that understanding between him and me. So he knew when I was saying and putting my hand up, oh okay, I best behave. But that's not just down to my training. I give some of the credit to Obi, who's been disciplining him out in the field as well.
And I think as well with babies, it's every little thing you do. Even when you bring them in from the field, you need to ensure that they behave coming up the road. It's not yeah, they can behave however they want out there, but in here it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But no, he's looking
Cool.
all right. I'll let you assess through the camera.
Thank you.
So I don't have to.
I'll maybe let him loose and
Chase him.
well, no, not chase him because he'll just run up and down at the front here, but we'll see how he moves loose in here, I think.
Cool. Yeah, and that's always the best way to assess, really, isn't it?
Well, I think then you can see how they're moving their bodies around to move in a way that's comfortable for them. I'm hoping that he'll just wander off, but the chances are he's going to just
Stand here like a lamb.
stand here or run up and down the gateway.
Bye. No, baby, go away.
He wants to follow now. Come on, sweetheart.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see.
Bye.
He looks well. He's not put on a massive amount of condition, but
Gonna be effective.
no, it might stop him going in the corner, but I think he'll probably just go behind you. But I think he's definitely put on a bit of muscle now.
Oh, I should have stayed there.
That's fine. Oh, sorry, Hal.
Oh yeah, thanks. Cool. Well, that's me done.
Yeah, he's definitely hopping more with it. Yeah, so he's training it a bit more, but as I say, it's cold, it's damp, and I think we'll just ask Sam to have another little assessment of him.
But I think even though he's trailing it a little bit, he's not, like, he's feeling it, but
He's not
really
distressed, no,
uncomfortable.
no.
I think that's the thing. It's no different to, like you've said, us having aches and pains. You know, you have aches and pains all the time.
No, I don't.
You do because you're
No,
old.
I don't. I'm not old.
Here you are.
I'm not. In my mind, I'm 35. I actually don't get aches and pains really because I
You actually
eat better now.
Also,